Just 15 kilometers from one of Japan's busiest cities, there's an island you're technically allowed to visit. Tour boats land there, cameras are welcome. It's even a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And yet, more than half of this island is completely off limits. No photos, no entry, no explanations. Behind locked doors and crumbling concrete walls are sealed rooms, underground corridors, and structures that have never been officially documented. This island once produced more energy per square meter than anywhere else on Earth. It survived typhoons, wars, and economic collapse. Then, overnight, it was abandoned. What really happened on Hashima Island? Why are parts of it still restricted today? And what don't they want you to see? This is the ghost military zone of Japan. This is Hashima Island, and these are the parts you can't see. From a distance, Hashima Island doesn't look like land, it looks like a warship. That's where its nickname comes from, Gunkanjima, Battleship Island. A solid wall of concrete surrounds it, rising straight out of the sea. No beaches, no trees, no soft edges. Just gray buildings stacked tightly together, like a city frozen mid-collapse. At its peak, this island was home to over 5,200 people, compressed into just 16 acres. That made Hashima one of the most densely populated places in human history. Denser than Tokyo, denser than New York, denser than Hong Kong. But this wasn't a city built for comfort. It was built for one reason only: coal. In the late 1800s, Japan was racing to modernize. Coal meant ships. Coal meant steel. Coal meant power. And beneath the seabed surrounding Hashima Island was an enormous coal deposit. Mitsubishi bought the island in 1890 and transformed it into an industrial fortress. They poured concrete everywhere, built Japan's first reinforced concrete apartment blocks, constructed schools, hospitals, cinemas, bathhouses, and even rooftop gardens. From the outside, it looked like progress. From the inside, it was something else. Because to extract coal from beneath the ocean, you had to go deep, very deep. Far below the island, past the foundations, past the seawall, were mine shafts descending over 1,000 feet underground. Some tunnels stretched beneath the ocean floor. Temperatures exceeded 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity was suffocating. Coal dust filled the air. Cave-ins were common. Flooding was constant. Explosions happened without warning. And during World War II, these tunnels became something darker. This is where Hashima's story becomes uncomfortable. During Japan's wartime expansion, labor shortages grew severe, so workers were brought in by force. Thousands of Korean and Chinese laborers were sent to Hashima Island against their will. They worked in the deepest sections of the mines, the most dangerous shafts, the longest shifts. Food was scarce, escape was impossible. The ocean surrounded them on all sides. Many never left the island alive. To this day, exact numbers are disputed, and this dispute is one of the reasons Hashima remains controversial, even as a UNESCO site. But there's another reason parts of the island are still restricted, and it has nothing to do with tourism. In 1974, something shocking happened. Coal prices collapsed. Oil replaced coal almost overnight, and Mitsubishi made a decision. They shut the mine down. Residents were given notice, packed what they could carry, and left. Within weeks, the island was completely empty. No gradual decline, no slow decay, just silence. Clothes were left in drawers, dishes remained on shelves, classrooms were frozen mid-lesson. And yet, not everything was abandoned. Today, visitors are allowed on only a small reinforced path. Everything else is blocked. Collapsed buildings are one reason, but not the only one. Certain stairwells are sealed, entire apartment blocks are off limits, access points to underground levels are welded shut. Why? Because beneath Hashima Island, much of the underground infrastructure still exists, collapsed in places, flooded in others, and according to former engineers, some areas were never mapped publicly. which leads to a quiet question no official tour will answer. What else was Hashima used for? There's no confirmed evidence that Hashima was an active military base, but there are strange details: restricted blueprints, unusual reinforced rooms, underground chambers larger than mining required. During World War II, Japan heavily militarized industrial sites. Factories doubled as strategic assets. Mines were protected infrastructure. Some researchers believe Hashima may have housed emergency command facilities or storage areas never officially acknowledged. If true, this would explain why certain areas remain inaccessible even today, not because they're dangerous, but because their history is incomplete. Nature didn't wait long to reclaim Hashima. Typhoons slammed into the concrete, saltwater corroded steel from the inside, floors collapsed without warning, entire buildings are hollow shells now. And yet, the island doesn't feel dead. Visitors report strange acoustics, voices carried by wind through empty corridors, the sensation of being watched, not haunted, just heavy, as if the island remembers. Hashima Island isn't just ruins, it's a warning about unchecked industrial ambition, about lives treated as expendable, about progress built faster than ethics. Japan preserved Hashima to remember its industrial rise, but the most important parts of the story aren't on the guided path. They're underground, behind locked doors, in records that were never released. And that's why Hashima remains one of the most unsettling places on Earth, not because it's abandoned, but because we don't know everything that happened there.